Back to our breaking news, and a train has collided with a truck in Brisbane's north side this morning. This is the scene right now. It happened at St Vincent's Road in the suburb of Banyo.
Now, police are telling us one person has received serious injuries as a result of that crash. It's unknown if anyone else is injured at this stage. Drivers are advised to avoid that area. Traffic delays are expected. Our Brisbane correspondent Michelle Tapper is heading to the scene, and we'll have more on this breaking news soon in Brisbane.
Well, the first plane load of asylum seekers left Christmas Island overnight for Nauru.
Now, it's understood the flight was operated by the Nauru Air Corporation and was carrying single men. They will initially be housed in tents as permanent housing still being built by the Australian Army. It comes as yet another boat, believed to be carrying 148 asylum seekers, was picked up off the Ashmore Islands. Well, let's talk to our big guns of politics, Environment Minister Tony Burke, Shadow Treasurer Joe Hockey. Good morning, gents.
Good morning.
Now, families being prepared for transfer to Nauru. The kids apparently being told they'll be going to a special city for 6 months. Tony, are you trying to sugarcoat it? And I notice the Human Rights Watchdog says you may have legal challenges on this.
I don't think there's any way of sugarcoating the situation on Nauru. This is tough. It's not a prison environment. The children, they go to school, there's education facilities, and that's in place. But there's no way of sugarcoating this. It is tough. And it is for a reason. We want to make sure that there's no advantage for people in getting on a boat.
Joe, another boat intercepted yesterday, as we said, 148 people. Government's doing offshore processing, what you've wanted all along, but they're still coming.
Because we wanted two other things as well. Temporary protection visas, and where possible, where safe to do so, turn the boats around. And the temporary protection visas are really important because they ensure that people, if they get to Australia, are not guaranteed permanent residency. And if their country stabilises, as is the case with Sri Lanka, and they're on temporary protection visas, they can be sent back there when it stabilises.
So why don't you do that, Tony? Why don't you do the second week?
No one ever got sent back with temporary protection visas. And when they were introduced, the number of people arriving, the number of boats actually went up, not down. It didn't work.
Well, we did send people back. The Kosovars are a very good example. During the war there, we accepted people
They
from
weren't on
Kosovo.
TPVs.
No, but when we did send them back, and we said we were prepared to send them back.
But they weren't on TPVs.
That was a special case, though, wasn't it? But Tony, what are you going to do? It's full. You've had more people arrive in the last month than Nauru can take. So now what?
As this is implemented, there's Nauru, there's Manus Island. Obviously, we always believed that Malaysia should have been there as well. The opposition weren't willing to come at that, and we've had that argument before.
So then what happens?
We believe that the principles we put in place, we're following through on what the expert panel said. We believe it's going to make a difference. It's what the experts have recommended. It's what we're following through on.
All right, let's talk fishing now. And the government's controversial 2-year ban on that super trawler fishing in Australian waters has passed the lower house with the support of independent MP Tony Windsor. Tony, what did you have to do to convince him to support it?
Oh, not enough, actually. We didn't get Tony Windsor. Tony Windsor voted with Joe. Right. We ended up with Rob Oakeshott coming across.
My apologies.
And for Rob, ultimately, he wants to make sure the review of fisheries management that we're doing fixes the system so that we don't have to have an Environment Minister intervening all the time. So the new rules that we've put in place, the intervention will only be possible for 12 months.
Yep.
And then that section will expire.
OK, Joe, why is the opposition banning this? You've joined by quite a few scientists.
Well, for a start, for 3 years this has been going on. Tony actually facilitated the entry of, and this is Tony Burke, facilitated the entry of the super trawler into Australia.
How?
And, well, because over the last 3 years you've changed the fisheries rules to allow boats to come on scale on the basis of economics.
That's not true.
Well, I understand it is. It's actually been reported in Parliament. And then the boat comes in, the guys are complying with all the laws, and then there's a reaction now from the Minister and the government that says, sorry guys, you can't do it. The bottom line is the new law can prospectively close down a licensed fishing vessel, someone that gets a licence after September, borrows money against their home, gets a fishing licence, goes out and trawls, and the Minister, based on environmental uncertainty, can say, sorry guys, you're out of business for 2 years.
Just to say that I somehow invited it in is just entirely
No, you facilitated it. I said you facilitated it.
Nothing.
You didn't do
Absolutely
anything.
untrue.
It just turned up.
No, there was no action by me that I've ever taken that encouraged this.
Oh,
and look at everything
no.
everything
You
I've said.
facilitated. You facilitated.
Joe, I don't know what you're basing this on.
Well, it's based on the information that's been presented in Parliament.
Yeah, I know Greg Hunt made a speech in Parliament, which I then stood up and explained why it was wrong. So that having been done, to revisit it now, ultimately, yesterday we had a vote. Yesterday we had a vote, and on the basis of that vote, either the super trawler was going to have 2 years of additional science and checks on it, or after the vote, it was going to be allowed to go fishing straight away.
The bottom line is, have they complied with the law up until now?
Up until now, yeah, they have.
And now you change the law when the boat arrives.
That's right, because I believe the law fell short of what we needed to do to properly protect the ocean.
And it was approved by your committee. What? The super trawler was approved by your committee, headed up by a former state Labor treasurer. Is that right?
In AFPA, yeah, applying rules that I believe are inadequate.
All right, okay, gents, have to leave it there. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
We still love each other.
Yeah, I know. Big kisses all around.
Yeah.
New guidelines have been released.